Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new legendary path Devin Booker drop, talking about which cards are worth picking up, which ones may not be as good, and just giving y'all my thoughts on this drop as a whole, which cards you should definitely be targeting, which cards you might want to skip and not pick up for your team. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 13,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I'm uploading every single day, tons and tons of content. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. So we got ourselves a Amethyst Devin Booker, Ruby Amari Stoudemire, Steven Jackson, a few Sapphires, Emeralds, and Golds as well. And we'll start at the bottom. So we're going to start with this Jarvis Hayes card. He's a 6'8" small forward with 70 speed and excel, an 80 shot 3. Not a great slasher, not a great defender. This is a gold card though. You can't really expect too much out of him. He's going to be a good catch and shoot shooter, but he's not fast enough to really create his own shot at a high level. He does have Kyrie dribble style, which is an elite level dribble style, and Rudy Gay's release also is probably very, very good. So this card could be very good if he was a higher overall, but he's just not good enough statistically, I think, to really have a role on people's teams. Now, this Damon Jones card, 6'3" at the PG position, decent size, decent speed, not great speed. He's kind of slow, but 89 shot 3 is amazing. Can't dunk, but defensively is also terrible. He's basically just a shooting PG. I mean, I don't know how this Chris Paul dribble style is right now, to be honest. I haven't really used it, so I guess we'll have to see. It does look like Steven Jackson has that, though, so we'll have to see what that is. I mean, he's still a gold card. He doesn't do enough overall in the court to really deserve a spot. Matt Barnes, 6'7", 6'9" wingspan, no hot spot, 74 speed, and 72 excel, 82 shot 3, 68 driving dunk, 80 perimeter, 81 lateral. At least he's got an 82 3 ball, 80 perimeter, 81 lateral. This card can kind of defend and will knock down a wide open 3, so like that, I guess, would work. The movement isn't there, but basic dribble style is bad, but he's not completely awful as like a 3-and-D type of guy. Nick Anderson, 6'6" shooting guard, 61 speed and excel, is super slow though for a shooting guard. 70 driving dunk, 83 shot 3 is good, and he's not, I mean, he's a bad defender, but he's not completely horrific. Good shooter, but I mean, Udonis Haslam releases for one, not probably very good. Number 2, the movement is an elite. Number 3, 61 speed, just is not going to cut it right now. So not any of these cards, or so far the Sapphires or the Emeralds and Golds, are really looking particularly great as budget options. But 6'4" Katino Mobley, another elite shooter, but he's got good speed here too. This is a much better budget card. It's still not an amazing card. He's still not an elite athlete. He's certainly not a great defender, but he's not the worst defensive card in the world. He's got mid-70s on the perimeter stats, and he's going to be a very good shooter, plus has good speed, 84 shot 3, 84 speed, and excel. So that is nice. Pro dribble style is not great. It's a pretty standard dribble style, though. It'll get the job done at this point in the year. This default small release is actually not bad. The Devin Harris release is not terrible. This card's not horrible. I mean, he'll be good as a shooter, and he's got good speed as well, which is nice, but not probably a card I'd still recommend using. But in terms of an Emerald, he's pretty good. And then 6'10", 7'1", wingspan, power forward, 83 offense, 77 defense, 55 speed and excel. He's an 80 shot 3, stretch big, but 55 speed and excel, even at this point in the game, is probably too slow to play at power forward. If you're going to use this card, use him at center, and honestly, with the movement and the lack of elite release, even though he can stretch the floor, I think you're better off using some other stretch bigs than this Derek Coleman. Now, Del Curry, this is where we start to get to the interesting cards, the Sapphires, 6'5" with a 6'8" wingspan. Looking for some budget beasts among these Sapphires, because they're still going to be cheap. We got an 89 3 ball, Del Curry, who has elite shooting badges. So, while he's not the fastest, really not a dunker or a defender, he is like decently sized, and he's going to be an absolutely incredible shooter with a very solid release. So this is going to be one of the best pure shooting cards in the game. Another elite 3-point sniper at the shooting guard position. Great budget card offensively. Defensively, not going to do a ton, but he is a very, very solid card. Del Curry, I mean, that's not a bad Sapphire at all. 6'2", Gus Williams. He's got 90 speed and excel, which is crazy. Not a very high 3-ball, but he's got good lateral quickness. If this card had a little bit higher 3-ball, I think he would actually be pretty darn good because of the playmaking badges, and because he's not a bad perimeter defender either. Even though he doesn't dunk the ball, he doesn't really need to right now. And the basic dribble style, that's not going to work either. You're not going to be able to create shots with basic dribble style. I mean, looking at these guys, it's all big men basically, and none of these, I mean, you're just not going to do anything with that dribble style, unfortunately. But the release, the McGee release, actually might be decent. It's been decent last couple of years, so it might not be terrible this year. I don't know. But I gotta say, unfortunately, with the basic dribble style, that's going to hurt him a bit, especially since that 3-ball is a little bit low as well. Daryl Dawkins, 6'11", 7'3" wingspan, but it's a guy who can't shoot the 3. Not going to defend all that well. Very good dunker, and he's got good speed for a center, but he can't shoot the 3-pointer at all. Really can't shoot a mid-range either. I mean, 66 is high enough to make it, but DeAndre Jordan release isn't good, and B dribble style, obviously, you're not going to be moving with your bigs at this point in the game. He's a decently athletic big with decent speed, but he can't shoot the 3. And for me personally, if you're going to use a big man who can't shoot the 3, you're better off using a guy like Ruby Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't think Daryl Dawkins can be worth using either. either. So gotta be honest, this is not the best budget drop, but 6'8" with a 6'9" wingspan at the small forward position. Got the Steven Jackson card. 74 speed and excel isn't terrible for a small forward. 78 shot 3, also not terrible. He's got some decent all-around stats as well. A little bit of defense, I guess. 79 perimeter, 79 lateral isn't bad. Couple decent badges. He does have an 82 driving layup, not the highest driving dunk, but 70 isn't, I guess, horrible. He does have some good finishing badges. So hoping 2KDB will update the badges soon with the new ones. Goran Dragic release is really good this year, though. I know that Rudy Gay's free throw, I'm sure, is good. We'll have to see how the CP3 dribble style is on this card, but if that's good movement, and that, because I know that is a pretty good release, if he has good movement as well, this is a pretty good card. Like, he's not going to be absolutely insane, but comparing him to a guy like, let's see, who else would you run at the small forward position right now? Somebody like an Andre Iguodala, maybe. I mean, it's not an unfair comparison at all. Like, Iggy's going to be a slightly better defender and a little bit faster. Steven Jackson is going to be a little bit bigger, which is going to give him a little bit of an advantage there, and probably a little better rebounder and stuff. Iggy might be a little more athletic. Overall, Iggy looks like a slightly better card because he's a little better defensively and a better athlete as a slasher, but I do think you're going to have a better shooter here with this Steven Jackson card. He's still going to be a very solid card. Maybe Iggy be a little better, but Steven Jackson isn't bad. And then Amari Stoudemire, 6'10" with a 7'1" wingspan, 75 speed and excel. That is solid. You can play this card at power forward or center because 75 speed and excel on a 6'10" player will get the job done right now. 70 shot 3 as well as high enough to green. 90 driving dunk is obviously incredible. Doesn't have a ton of defense, but 75 interior, 70 block, and a very high vertical, 89 vertical, will help him out defensively as well early in the year. Kind of like Pink Diamond Blake Griffin last year, who obviously had much better defensive stats than this, but we're starting much lower on the progression this year, with rubies being equivalent to what diamonds last year, I guess. So we have Amari Stoudemire's release. Isn't great generally. His movement does not look great either. This dribble style isn't going to do much, but you wouldn't expect good movement out of a power forward early in the year. Can play at power forward or center, though. He's got good speed. He's going to be able to hit a wide open three. Going to be a very, very athletic pick and roll slasher, and he should be okay enough defensively. Going to get dogged by the interior centers, but not a bad card, honestly. And then finally, we have Devin Booker, who is 6'5" with a 6'6" wingspan. Hot spots from only 3 spots on the court, though, or 4 spots on the court. That's not amazing. 2 hoffs. You got blinders and mini magician. Every single gold, or pretty much he does every single shooting badge. He's going to have silver limitless range, silver catch and shoot, a bunch of good gold ones. Bailout handles today's on gold. Good playmaker, silver quick first step. This card is going to be legitimately very good on the offensive end of the court. 87 shot 3. He's got a 75 driving dunk, which I don't love, but that is high enough at this point in the game for sure. 79 speed and excel is a little low, but you get a shoot. It's going to boost that up a little bit. Maybe get that into the low to mid 80s, which honestly is not bad considering the guy that I'm starting at shooting guard right now is Klay Thompson, who has something along the lines of 70s or like low 70s speed and is also a great shooter. But the thing about Klay, even though he's a little bit slower than D-Book, is that he's so elite defensively, whereas D-Book is a very poor defender. 74 perimeter, 74 lateral, no interior at all. Not going to do a lot of the defensive end, but what D-Book is going to do is, number 1, have a very good release. Number 2, move really well. He's going to be one of the best offensive cards in the game, period, right now. Probably the best offensive shooting guard in this game. If he can hold it down enough defensively, I do think you're still looking at one of the better options in the game right now. This Devin Booker is going to be a very, very good card. Unfortunately, a little bit expensive, and he is the collection reward for completing all these other cards, which means he's going to be a bit expensive probably, and that is okay, I guess. I don't love this whole thing right now with all these set rewards. I think it becomes a little bit expensive, or at least has the potential to, but overall, I do think this D-Book card is very good, and this is an okay drop. It's not a great drop. D-Book is good. Amari and Steven Jackson are pretty good. There's a couple of semi-decent budget cards, guys like Del Curry and Katino Mobley, who shoot the ball at a very high level. Gus Williams to be good if he had a little bit higher 3-ball and better movement, but overall, not the best promo, to be completely honest. So not entirely sure that I would recommend picking up these cards unless you are going for Shaq, but if you're more of a budget player, there may be a couple guys in here that might be worth at least considering to pick up for your team. Might go for some of these rubies as well as spot type guys, so I don't know. Maybe worth picking up some cards from. We're definitely going to try to get y'all some gameplays, though, that is for sure, and see how these top cards especially are looking today. So that is going to do it for this video. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.